Hey everybody, Coach Scott here today, and today my subject is stop the stinking thinking. That's right, stop that stinking thinking. And that's those self-defeating thoughts that can be short-lived, or they can be a condition that we actively work on and try to manage day to day. Like oftentimes it shows up in the form of anxiety and stress and depression. But either way, they don't feel good. We all know that feeling does not feel good. And we all have it. We all get those feelings from time to time. And it's important to catch ourselves when we start to notice that inner conversation. And we work on doing this by being our own fact checker. That's right. There's a lot of fake news out there, but we want to make sure that you're your own fact checker. We do this with other things in our lives, like debates and news, or when sometimes somebody tells us something, we always trust it but verify it. But the crazy thing about this is that we generally don't do this to ourselves when it comes to our own thoughts or our own internal conversation. We've talked about this before. And again, when we have our own inner conversation, we just assume these thoughts and ideas are 100% accurate, and when some of them are not. So you have to monitor that inner conversation. And as much as we want to believe that our own thoughts are always true, the fact is sometimes they're not true. And these specific negative and untrue thoughts, behavioral scientists call them cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions. Specifically, the thoughts that are reinforced by negative thinking and those patterns of negative thinking. And really, they have really no basis in reality or truth. And essentially, they're just words of our inner critic, not the voice of truth. One of the things I know is that truth always recognizes truth. So I want to take a closer look at some of these cognitive distortions today and how we can better arm ourselves and put on that full armor against the destruction and those destructive thoughts. The first thing is we got to learn how to filter the right way. So when you're filtering, this can be negative or positive, but when we selectively filter out all of the positive thoughts and we only focus on the negatives, it can be very harmful to us. When you're at work, or your boss tells you that you got 10 things great about you, but you need one area that you got to work on right here. All of a sudden now, a lot of people, they'll just think about that one negative statement, the one negative thing that they work on, and so they filter it the wrong way. Instead of focusing on the area of growth, they look at the one complaint or the one area that they need to work on. And we're much better off when you think about building our own strengths and getting to our gifts and talents, is focusing in on the great stuff, not just the one negative thing. So again, it's okay to be mindful of the areas that you need improvement in, but it's not so great when you let them consume you. And what we should rather do is just focus on your strength and then those areas of growth as a improvement to our overall self. And again, remember, these are growth areas, not weaknesses. So words matter. You got to use your words, because words are there to build you up, but they can also tear you down. And also your words, your life will go in the direction of your words. The next thing is how we polarize our thinking. It's black and white, right or wrong. If you're not the first, you're the last. All these things that can come up in our everyday thinking, it can polarize us to the fact that it can actually sabotage our progress. And that's what we should focus on. Focus on the process, not the goal. Process, not the goal. Keeping an attitude of gratitude is incredibly helpful in this area, making sure that you're understanding there's big differences between victories and goals. When you achieve a goal, you don't have to be perfect, you know that, but a lot of times we try to practice perfection and not realizing that a goal does not have to be perfection. So whether it's relationships, whether it's your health, whether it's your job, whether it's trying to improve yourself, can't tell you how many times that I have coached people, and that is the first step is always the most important step. But then once you get into that area and once you start moving forward, then it's all about the journey. It's all about the process. So trust the process and don't rush the process. And then finally, when you overgeneralize things, this again, when you think about overgeneralizing everything that you did, you're thinking about, it's not just this specific thing, but I'm going to put everything into one category. And for the rest of my life, I'll be either good, bad, or I'll be either successful or unsuccessful. And to be honest with you, you'll never get progress when you overgeneralize everything and put everything into one category. Scientists don't take one finding in a small sample of people and then announce it to the world as the absolute truth, and neither should we, because that's bad science. They have to take an overall holistic view of everything that's going on and know that some people are not going to fit in certain categories. So here's my encouragement to you today. Investigate your thoughts. And always, always, always monitor your inner conversation. And if you catch yourself having those self-defeating thoughts and that self-doubt in any area of your life, be sure to examine why and look for those positive things. The more you focus on the positive, the more you, and we hardwire the pathways of our brain to the positive thinking, it just makes it for a natural progression for us to get into those areas of success. And the cool thing about our brains is the more we focus on something, the more we hardwire it to become that what we think about most. So if we think positive, we're going to be positive. If you think negative, guess what? You're going to be negative. So again, be your own health and wellness expert. Be your own mad scientist, if you will. Destroy the fake news in your mind. Don't be afraid to question your own thinking. After all, you know yourself better than anybody else. So it's time for us to stand up inside ourselves, understand that we've got to monitor that inner conversation, get rid of that stinking thinking, and if you'll do that, I believe that you will be all that God has created you to be. So God bless you guys. Take care. I'll see you on the next video.